Real talk, real life, real growth.
This is Raw Reality with Tori Story and Fit with Lily.
Desi, welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you here today. I know that your schedule has been back to back and it's freed up, perfect in time for our athlete series.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, we always start the episode with the same question for every guest, and that is, what's one mindset shift that you wish you knew earlier?
It would have to be adaptability, and I think that just plays a massive role in like my journey and everything, and the way that I made the sport bobsleigh. I went from athletics, changing different disciplines. I did netball, I tried rugby sevens, and then I tried bobsleigh, and I ended up making the Olympics. I feel like, yeah, I was very stuck in like the mindset of I really want to make the Summer Olympics and I want to do it with athletics and I want to do it for the 100-meter sprint. And honestly, life throws curveballs at you, as you know. Like I had a lot of injuries and they swayed me from different things all the time, and there were so many roadblocks, and I just had to go with it and eventually just realize that adapting to a different sport or to a different discipline is okay. And it's okay to go down that path because, yeah, it's a different journey and it could lead to something great, which it did. So, yeah.
As you mentioned, you made the Olympics, which is insane, and we're going to get to that. But I want to backtrack a little because we were just chatting off air because I didn't know, and I was doing my research. But grew up doing a bit of athletics and then got into netball as well. Yeah. Accidentally made the national team for netball.
Yeah.
I feel like you're the person that would try something and would just be great at it.
Well, yeah.
Thank you. You're like,
yeah. I do like to delve into different things. Like obviously athletics was like my passion and everything, but I was always like, oh, I want to do this. Like everyone's doing netball as well. And I played a bit of netball growing up as well. And accidentally made the national team. I didn't even play for like a rep team or anything or a club. I just did it. And
what age was that?
That was when I was 12, so under 12. So yeah. So wow. I was just doing athletics and my coach was like, you're not really allowed to do other sports because I was so injury prone, like even at a young age. And I did it in secret and I played for South Coast, and then he was like, okay, there's no way you're going to make the Queensland team. And my name got called out and I made the Queensland team and goal defence. I think I did goal defence and wing defence. Which was crazy, which I didn't expect that, but it was such a cool experience. And it was good to be able to do a different sport to what I was doing and stuff, definitely. So,
because what age did you start athletics?
I started running, before I was 9, but I started getting coached at 9 years old. So, yeah.
And then from that national game with netball, was that the end for netball?
Yeah.
Did you get an ultimatum?
Yeah, well, sort of, not really. He wasn't too harsh, but I think I was like, I had to really weigh up my options and where my passion was. And it was good to try it at such a young age and get that experience and stuff. But yeah, it was sort of the ultimatum of, do I want to keep my body healthy for something that, I know I'm probably going to do long term, and that's sprinting, which I thought, athletics. So yeah, I took that road, so.
How many years did you do athletics for and really dive into the 100-meter sprint? Was that always what you wanted to do, specifically that race?
Yeah, I really love the 100 sprint. Like growing up, I was 100, 200, 100 hurdles, long jump. So I did a few things, but 100 sprint was sort of where I was at. It was a short power sort of event. And that's where I really wanted to make the Olympics for the 100 sprint. I just think that's so iconic, and it was always where my passion was and everything. But I definitely didn't stick to 100 sprint. I was good at a few other events and stuff as well, which helped. My injuries definitely stopped me from doing the 100 meters. I did athletics, like I still sort of in and out. I haven't done athletics since I was like, I think around that 17, 18 because of injuries. I had to stop. I still trained for it, but I wasn't able to compete after that for a long time. But when I first started, I guess it was my foot was the main thing, my main injury that stopped me from doing 100-meter sprints in particular. It sort of took me over to heptathlons, which is crazy.
What is that again?
Heptathlons is 7 events. So it's 100 hurdles, 200 long jump, shot put, javelin, 800. Oh, God, what have I missed?
And you do all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do them over 2 days.
Wow.
So you do one event at a time. They're in a specific order. And you get an amount of points for each event. And then it's not about basically winning like an event. It's about getting as many points as you can. And at the end of the day, whoever has the most points wins. So once you get to the last event, which is the 800, which is like the worst event. Like I absolutely hate it. Like I can't run an 800.
And like you have to sprint an 800.
Like you do. And it's like the biggest like event because like you have an amount of points and say you're in second, but you know you could get first because you're this many points away from this girl. That means you have to run a certain distance in front of her or behind her or something. Shit. So your coach calculates it to go like, okay, you need to stay right behind her or you need to stay like right in front of her or you're not going to win. So it's a mind game.
Good motivator, but fully mind
It's fun
game.
though, but I used to, oh my God, I was so bad. Like I used to cry before and after the 800 because I am just like distance is like terrible.
Yeah.
But I wasn't too bad. I think it was all my mind. Like I would sprint that last 200 at the 800 and just
it's just like such a long distance where the lactic acid just kicks in but you have no choice but to keep sprinting and obviously from being really good at the 100 meter that's just like so much further like horrible.
They're two completely different sports. It's crazy that you can do all of those events like
it's like you're training for all of them. It's like when you go and do like an Ironman and you like got to train for multiple different
that's right and like when I was doing heptathlons like I was doing it during school so I was like training before school and after school. I was coming to late to school, and I was also training during school because my throws coach was one of my teachers at school. So I was training like before, like during and after, and I'd have time off school just to train for this because I then thought I went from hundreds to heptathlons and I thought this was going to be my thing and I was going to make world juniors for it and stuff, and I was doing really, really well at it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, then what was the switch? What took you from going and doing athletics to bobsledding? Like, how did that even come up? You're doing a summer sport and then all of a sudden you transition to a full winter sport that honestly doesn't have much like publicity or like people don't really know much about it. So how did you dive into that?
Yeah, so it would have been the switches, I guess, with injuries. Injuries was my biggest thing through my athletic career. It started off, I had a stress navicular fracture in my foot. That's what took me from 100-meter sprints to heptathlons because I thought if I was average at every event, maybe I could do that and not put as much impact on my foot, which is a little bit crazy to say. And then I ended up having 3 surgeries on my foot. And I did heptathlons. And then when I was doing heptathlons, by the end of my school year in grade 12, and I was just about to make world juniors for it, I ended up fracturing my back. And I was out for a long time. And that was one of my major sort of injuries that,
Did you do it doing a particular thing?
It was just like over time, I think, from all the different
back
events.
Fractures are always the way, especially like in gymnasts. It's so common. Like it's over time. It's never like, oh, this happened and I fractured my back. It's just over time. Overuse.
That's right. Yeah. Because I was like, how did I do it? And everyone's like, I think it's just from the overuse. Like you're training for 7 events and it was bound to happen like and you're young and stuff like that. So that ended up happening and that took me out for a long time, probably most of that year. And I tried coming back to sprinting and stuff and it just wasn't working with my foot. Like that's when I kept having the surgeries. And,
was this 2020?
I fractured my back in, I think it was 2018, I think.
Oh, wow. Same as me.
Yeah, really?
Oh, hello. The year for it.
And then your foot.
And then my foot was it would have been my first surgery, I think it was like 2020. And then it was, I think, 2022 and 2023.
Yeah. And then you made the switch to bobsled in 2023?
Yeah, I actually had surgery right before I went on season for bobsleigh.
Yeah.
So
I think I remember that.
Yeah, so it was a bit crazy, but I made the switch. I actually tried rugby sevens before this. Sorry, guys, I've got a few more events.
I love it.
I thought the thing after athletics, I was like, if I can't do athletics and if I can't sprint, like I would be a perfect rugby player. Like, why didn't I try that? And I had someone like the Australian coach come and poach me from one of my training sessions and I did some sprints for them and some tests and everything. They're like perfect. And I started training with the QAS girls in Brisbane and the Australian girls and stuff to see if I could do it. Had no ball skills at all, but I could sprint. So it was great. And I could tackle. So it worked out. but my foot just did not hold up with that. And that was I think that was the second surgery I had. So I had that second surgery on my foot and I was like, okay, rugby's probably not the way. And I think it was like over 2 years, I had people trying to poach me for bobsleigh, which is really weird. The only way you get into a winter sport is if someone poaches you. And it's the same thing with like the artistic, the ski jumping and stuff. Like gymnasts get into it.
Yeah.
And they poach a lot of gymnasts into that.
Even like divers.
Yeah, divers.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So the only way, you don't grow up doing it. You don't grow up doing bobsleigh.
I had assumed that you would have got poached.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So they obviously are looking for brakewoman. And because as a pilot, you need someone to jump in the sled with you and push the sled. I had each pilot from the team at the time, there was 3, all call me up to ask if I would jump in because I think someone said Desi would be so keen, like try her. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want to go overseas and go into the snow and like do the sport that I have no idea what the sport even is. Like that's crazy. So it took me a little bit. And then I think it was just after that injury where I had surgery on my foot after rugby sevens, I was like, okay, why not? Like I might as well give it a shot. And Sarah, my pilot now, she called me up and she was like, we don't care like how your foot is. You don't need to run. Just hop in the sled, see if you like it, come over to France. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then cool, you've tried it. And I was like, okay, well, that kind of sells it for me. So, yeah, I flew over to France. I think I had like 2 weeks or 3 weeks
That is wild.
in advance. Yeah, and I jumped in and it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, but the coolest thing, yeah.
So you didn't have to train for sprinting then or use your foot. It was more so just about jumping in.
That time was, just to jump in. So she was doing like a development camp. It went for about a week. And she was learning how to drive actually, which I honestly had no idea. But it was her first time ever doing a two-man run, and I jumped in for that, which is pretty scary. Yes. Like for a driver learning, like usually they crash.
Like you don't know what you're doing and she does. She does.
Exactly. But I had no idea. So
you wouldn't know if she was doing it right or wrong probably. So
exactly. I was getting beaten up. Like I would come out of the run and I had like bruises head to toe and I was like, oh, so is this what it's like? Like
she's like, no.
And she's like, oh. But it was honestly like when I first started that run, the first run I ever did, it was so crazy. Like I jumped in and it was so slow at the start. And I was like, oh, I'm just like holding on. I can't see anything because you can't see anything in my position as a brakeman. You're literally just looking at the bottom of the sled and all you can see, there's like a little gap and it's like ice rolling past because that's where the brakes go through.
I was just like watching your Olympic race and I'm just like, you would just have no idea.
I'm like, yeah.
You're like, I've done all that I can and now I just wait.
Literally, yeah. And you like, once you get to know the sport and like know the tracks, like you know where you're at. Like even though you don't know where you're at, like you start to learn like the corners and stuff. And you know when like they hit something and you're like, oh no, they've hit a corner, which is like not good because it takes speed out of the sled. So as I developed in the sport, like I knew a lot more about it, but the first time like I did it, like I had no idea. And like I'm going down and when you hit the first corner, you're going so fast, like the wind gets knocked out of you. You're hitting G's, like it's insane. Like, and you're like holding on literally just with your hands and there's nothing else holding you in. Yeah.
Have you ever tried driving one?
I did, actually. I haven't really spoken about this.
Just for fun or like?
Yeah, so after the Olympics, I decided I was going to jump in and drive a sled. I was like, oh, I might as well. Like, you know, I was curious and I wanted to know what it was like. And I feel like I would have kicked myself if I never jumped in a sled and I had the opportunity to. So I did a development camp and it went for a week. It was in France, La Plagne. Yeah, and it was honestly the craziest but coolest thing I've ever done. Like, it was so different to what I thought it would be. I actually can't believe, like, people can drive the sleds. Like, and I picked it up really well and I absolutely loved it. But corners come at you so fast and you just have to react to them. And the thing I learned about it was it's all about physics and it's all about how do you enter a corner and how you hold a corner and how do you leave a corner. It's not just, you're not driving the whole time, but it's like sort of controlling the sled.
And being quick on your feet to be able to think.
Yeah, so you've got to be very, very reactive, and that's the biggest thing. But the biggest thing I learned from it is you've got to be so patient and you've got to be very calm. Like if you're stressed, like you're just going to like pull the sled down and crash, and at any moment you could crash. And the first run I did, I crashed. And it was quite funny, but I was like the first person to go off too. Like I woke up that morning and it was like, Desi, number 1. And I was like, oh, great. Yeah. And like I went down and I had no idea where I was because you have to learn every corner of the track.
Yeah.
And I'd been studying for like days and I was like, okay, I've got this. Like, and I'm going to yell the numbers out loud when I like go down them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to like, I don't know, I got to a corner and I was like, corner 10. And I was like, I'm not at corner 10. And then I just, and the sled like flipped. And I like,
flipped.
and I got in and then it came back up, but I didn't get out. I was too scared to get back out. So,
So are you still going down while it's like half flipped? So it doesn't really stop?
No, the sleds don't stop when you crash. So you've got to try and tuck yourself in as much as you can or like you're going to hit the ice. So like in the pilot position, I was able to tuck myself into like the cowling, so the front of the sled, and I could protect myself a little bit. But I had a crash, which was my first crash as a brakeman in Winterberg, Germany on season. And it was during a competition, which was annoying. But we ended up crashing and flipping. And I didn't realize I felt airborne. And I was like, because you don't really know what's going on in the back. And it's pretty like, rough. And we flipped and my partner actually came over to watch me for the first time and he was watching for my first crash ever and he was like, oh no.
He's like, I'm bad luck.
Yeah, he's like, nah, that's it. Yeah, and I felt like my shoulder burning and I was like, oh, what's that? And I was like, oh my gosh, we're on the ice, like we're crashing and your shoulder's on the ice. And then my bum was burning too. My bum was burning because we're like flipped. So like, and I'm like trying to hold myself in and you have to keep yourself in the sled because if you fall out, you get disqualified. Oh, no. Yeah, so you have to try and put like your helmet onto the ice so that your shoulder can come off because you don't want to end up with like ice burns.
That would be so painful.
Yeah, so painful. And like my pilot, she has like a massive ice burn on her shoulder, which it looks so bad. But even we like wear protective gear like burns vests and like our helmets and everything like that, which can prevent it but don't always prevent like an ice burn. And then obviously you've got to think of concussions and stuff like that. So yeah, but I was fine. I came out like fine. I think I was full of adrenaline and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I just crashed for the first time. Yeah.
Holy wow, that's insane. So you obviously went over in 2023 to France to check it all out. Was that kind of the trip that you were like, yeah, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, I sort of saw it as an opportunity to make the next Winter Olympics. And like I
make that Olympic dream.
I loved it. Yeah, make that Olympic dream come true. It was sort of like, okay, well, if I can't do it for athletics and do it in a summer sport, then maybe I can commit to this and do this. And there was the opportunity and I was like, okay, I'm going to try it out next season and see if I like it. I think you really have to do like a season of bobsleigh to really know what it's like. You can't just jump in a sled and go down the track and go, okay, I could do this for a season because it's not just that. It's not just jumping in a sled and going down the track and doing a competition or doing a training run. Like there is so much more to it that you have to commit to. Like we are like the mechanics of those sleds. Like we do absolutely everything to them. We move them around. We've got to be in a van all season. You've got to be on season for like 5 to 6 months of that year. And yeah, you're basically living out of a van, changing countries every week, like traveling all across the countries, which sounds really good, but it can be quite tiring and quite lonely because you're away from your family and your friends and everything and away from your home. But then there's also the mechanic side to it that people don't usually like.
I was going to say, no one's really talked about that.
No. Yeah. So there is a lot of work that goes into those sleds, like a lot. Like we honestly, like there's more work that goes into those sleds than to us as athletes. Like we've got to make sure that they're running fast, that they're running good. And there's things that go wrong with them all the time. And you've got to clean them all the time. You've got to change their runner shoes. Like there's a lot that goes on with them. Like we're constantly flipping them, doing maintenance to them, like changing things in them, taking the runners off, which are the sort of ice skates at the bottom of the sled that you have to change. There's different, I guess, springs and different runners that you use for different tracks. So you've got to change that.
And that's all up to you guys.
That's all up to us.
It's not like the F1 where it's like the racer just gets in, does his job, and then like
he just waits
he's
in
a
there.
whole team.
He's like, oh, it's all done. Yeah, trust that.
Wow.
It's all us. And I think the pilots like to have control of their sleds and what they're doing.
Yeah.
The German teams and stuff like that, they have really fast sleds that you can't get your hands on. So it's sort of like racing and stuff. Like if you don't have a fast sled, like you're not going to do well. Even if you're a good driver, you're a good pusher. If your sled's not fast, you're not going to do well. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of money involved in this sport.
Yeah. Just like honestly, any sport you get to the Olympics, it's like that's going to be a leverage point.
Yeah.
Like to be able to kind of take it to that next level. People always see the word like Olympian and they think like success, glamour and everything is amazing, but I don't think they really truly see the grind behind what you actually do. And that's almost what you touched on there was traveling through the countries, and it does get quite like lonely and isolating. What would you say is like the hardest part of it all to become an Olympian?
I think, the hardest part is so much. There is so much to it. And I think a lot of people don't realize. And I think that, traveling, like it's amazing. Like we get to travel and stuff. We don't really get to see the countries though. It's usually just training, you're eating, sleeping, doing the maintenance.
Yeah. It's like when you're going over to compete, we spoke about this with Brie and I've experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing you're going overseas and you get to somewhat see the countries, but you're not there on holiday sightseeing and doing other things. You're there to do your job and train and fuel correctly and recover and do everything you do at home overseas, basically.
And also, you're on a mountain or like you're somewhere, you're not exactly in the main city. You know what I mean?
No, we're very isolated. Like we're on a ski mountain and you're basically like at the track or you're in the garage doing sled work or you're at home and you're resting because you've got to get back up and do the sled work before you go to the track and do sled work and come home, cook dinner, then go to sleep. And then it's like, okay, now we have to pack our bags and we're going to go to Germany tomorrow. So we need to drive to 9 to 10 hours or something to get there so that we can compete that next week. And the schedule usually is like you're training through the week and you'll do a few runs and you're obviously doing your training, like your sprint training and stuff never usually looks the same. You're in a ski mountain. There's not always tracks. So we, like when we were in Cortina for like our first sort of few weeks in Cortina before the Olympics at the start of the season to test the track, there was no track. So I was doing all my sprint training on like the road. So it's adapting to what you can do. So it's like on the road or on a hill or something or gym outside, like in the cold, in the snow. Yeah. So the training week usually looks like you do the training runs and then you get to the end of the week and that's competition. You do competition and straight from competition, you drive to the next sort of area to then compete again. It can be not that glamorous, like with everything that you have to do, even around like losing weight or stuff like that. Like that's something that I really had to, adapt to on season and stuff is trying to be the weight that they wanted me to be and stuff all season. So that was very, very hard, especially being in the climates we were as well.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's freezing. So obviously your body also wants body fat. So it's probably going to tell you that it's a little bit more hungry and it's like you're burning so many calories while training as well. Like how did you go with that mental discipline around it?
Yeah, it was honestly so hard. Like you're in altitude and everything as well. And sorry, is that my phone?
No, it's okay.
Is it my phone? Sorry.
That's all good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so you're like in altitude and everything. So it can be quite hard. And the thing is like my team were trying to gain weight while I was trying to lose weight, which is quite difficult. So in the sport of bobsleigh, you have to be a certain weight. The girls combined with the sled, the uniform and everything, I think 330 kilos all up. So that's 2 women. My pilot has to be a certain weight, I have to be a certain weight, and we have to communicate that. She wanted to be heavier for monobob, which meant I had to lose weight. I'm quite a big build as it is and quite muscly, so I had to try and lose and strip down that muscle as well. It wasn't just on season, but like before season, I had to prep all year to get there and try and maintain that. And while I was on season, it was very hard.
Because you would have so much muscle density.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you have to keep training to, make the goal of making the Olympics and do all the things so naturally. And I assume you would gain muscle quite easily.
I gain muscle so easily.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest things was cutting my gym down, which you don't really see an athlete like cutting their gym down, but I had to. I wasn't allowed to do much gym. I had to do more sprint training than, gym basically.
Crazy.
To cut that muscle density down.
Did you have someone guiding you through the process or was it more so up to you?
I did have a little bit of help, but I ended up trying to guide myself, like really in the end. Like I knew what worked for me. My coaches obviously helped me with the training and everything and losing that. And I work in with QAS as well, and the dietitians helped me with that. And especially around fueling, because I've still got to fuel myself. And that was my biggest thing, is trying to fuel myself while trying to lose that weight. By the time I got to the Olympics and stuff, I had all the help in the world, and it was amazing. And I felt so great because I had a dietitian who, actually fueled me properly and everything. And I got to the point on season that I ended up fainting because I was I think, depleted.
Wow.
Yeah.
How far out from the Olympics was that?
That was very close, actually. I think that was it would have been 4 weeks out or 3 weeks out.
Oh,
from.
jeez.
Yeah.
And had you qualified for the Olympics yet?
Yeah, we had just
Okay, you just
qualified,
did.
the week before we had just qualified.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I woke up one morning and I just fainted, and I was like, oh, why did I faint? Maybe it's the altitude, but I think it was just, obviously I'd been working so hard every week and all season for that, the past 5 months or whatever. And my body was like, okay, you need to fuel yourself. So that was quite difficult.
And that's just so hard because you have to meet that weight requirement or you get disqualified.
Yeah.
So it's you don't really have a choice.
And you don't want to be the person to let it down either.
Yeah.
Just
And that's
for
the thing. And it's so, you see all the brakemen, all the taller, the bigger girls, they're all oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat after the first run, because you do the first run of the competition and then you get weighed. So it's not you have to be that weight in the sled on that run.
Yeah.
So the run could be in the morning or the run could be that night.
Imagine if it was did you ever have to do it at night?
Our Olympic runs were at night. And,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then the ones in Cortina were at night. So it was so difficult. It was just weird. I was
Because even hydration.
well, that's right.
You
Yeah,
can't
hydration.
really have water or anything
Yeah.
like that.
So
That's kind of dangerous when you think about it. Because imagine if you were I guess the pilot, because if you, and then they also have, is there many pilots that have to cut weight or not as much?
pilots do cut weight. There are some. But
I was going to say more so from reaction time and speed. And obviously when you aren't depleted, you're not really thinking as fast, but even for yourself, trying to bounce off the start line, you have to be reactive. But then when you're depleted, your brain's not working as fast. Holy shit, it's hard.
it is, and that's the first season I worked that out. I was in the sauna every day working towards world champs when we debuted for world champs. And I was in the sauna for 45 minutes. I wasn't eating, and then I got to the world champs and I was not fast. I was not reactive.
Yeah.
I felt depleted. I was sick, and then I had so many things went wrong, and I was just I'm my body is done. I got to the weight, but I was so it is crazy. Yeah.
What did life look like for you after you made that transition in 2023? Because then the Winter Olympics was, when was that?
Last year.
Yeah.
End of last year?
No, the start of this year. So 2026.
Start of this year.
Yeah.
Oh, was it started this year?
Yeah, January.
Whoa. That's crazy. I thought it was
I was literally middle of last year.
No, so they usually call
summer
the season.
US
swap. Yeah. But I definitely thought it was
They
end of
call
last
it
year.
25 to 26 is the season of the Olympics. And
Yeah,
then
wow.
because it's the Winter Olympics, it's got to be during the winter season. So they do it at the back end of that season.
Right.
So 2026, yeah.
No shit, you just got home. Yeah. We just spoke about this.
So you made the move, or the decision in 2023, but you weren't there for the whole, 3 years. Mm-hmm. What did that whole path look like? Because obviously in Australia we don't have the equipment and the snow and all the things.
Yeah.
What did that last 3 years look like?
Yeah, so it is quite difficult for Australians to
Yeah.
compete in winter sports, I think in any winter sport really. But yeah, basically it was the same sort of athletics training that I had to do leading up to it. So I would be doing my sprint training, my gym training while I was here in the warm weather. And then we had to go over there around October time. My seasons weren't always consistent. I had a lot of short seasons. So my first season that I ever went on, I had surgery in my foot. That was my last surgery in my foot. And I missed out on half the season. And then I went on and I was actually rehabbing while I was over there trying to get into this. And then we ended up making world champs, which was really crazy because I was I just got back from a foot surgery, and then we made the world champs, which was cool. But I never really got to recover or rehab properly while I was over there. So I ended up doing most of my like seasons over here rehabbing. I ended up having shoulder surgery then when I came.
I was going to say there was a shoulder injury in there somewhere.
Yeah. I nearly forgot about that one. Yeah, so then I had shoulder surgery, and that was like I spent most of the time of my pre-season, which is while we're at home, rehabbing that and trying to get strong and fast again over here. So I guess it's really good for us to build up our speed and our strength and everything at home. But it's quite difficult for us to be great pushers or to be great drivers because we don't have the facilities like other countries, whereas they can be doing push training all year and they could be using those facilities. No one can drive all year though, which is a good thing. Like there's no tracks really open during the year, which is good, but it's about the push, which is the main thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So through that time, obviously you're going overseas. How long have you been with your partner for now?
So since I first jumped in, do you mean, my partner?
Sorry, yeah, your like relationship partner.
I was
Not your pilot.
I was like, we do call each other partner. I know,
No, I do the same. Yeah.
I was like, that partner? My partner, I've almost been with him for 4 years now.
Okay, so how did you go navigating long distance?
It's so hard. It honestly is so hard. Like the first few years were okay because I wasn't over there for that long. This year, this season, obviously was 6 months because we were working towards the Olympics, and we both were like, no, it's good, like commit to it, like you're going to make the Olympics, so like we can do this, it's fine. It's difficult. Like we were talking about it, and every time he called me, like there was people with me, like there is always people with me. I can't just go outside and walk in the snow and talk to him either. Yeah. So I think there was not much of that personal, like, conversations on the phone either, which we got a lot, like really frustrated and stuff, quite a lot, like, and with each other, and it was hard. And then he was constantly working. He's a nurse, and he was working overtime all the time. Like he honestly, like was working every time I spoke to him because I wasn't there and there was nothing else for him to do. Like he would come home to a lonely house, and I sort of realized how lonely he actually was. I know I was lonely, but he was more lonely than me. I had people around me. I had things to do. I was busy.
And
but
working towards an incredible dream as well.
So it was going fast for me, like sort of, but for him it wasn't. And like after the season, like I was quite upset about it because I was like, oh, I feel so bad. Like I was just, off in this other world because you are, like you're living like a different life basically. You feel like you are. And then you come home and you pause and you're like, oh my gosh. And we both went, how did we do that? Like, could we do that again? We tried to make time. Like he came over for Christmas and he came over during the Olympics, which during the Olympics it was pretty hard to spend time together, but at least you could be there and watch me achieve my dream and
at least
stuff.
you're in the same time zone
as well. Exactly. And that's the other thing, the time zone. Like I think I'd wake up or something for breakfast and he'd be going to sleep and it'd be the other way around. Hard. So
and he's a nurse, so he's probably working at nights as well. Yeah. So then you can't contact him. Yeah. You guys really wouldn't have spoken.
No, it was hard. When he was on night shift though, like, we could text because he'd be up, I'd be up, but that was the only
And then
time.
You're like changing countries and you're going from here to there.
And in gloves because you're in like a freaking the snow.
Like he would call and I'd be like about to move a sled onto the ice, like training. And I'm like, hey, like I've just got to do this one thing. Like I'll be back. And he's like, oh, like I'm driving to work. So it was very difficult. And I'm proud of us for doing it. And he stuck by my side this whole time. And he's the most supportive person like I could ever be around. So like I'm so grateful for him. So
I think that's a good like lesson for people as well, knowing that there is so much to sacrifice when you are chasing a dream and the other person does have to support you no matter what. And of course it's going to be hard, but when you're home, you're like, thank God we did that. Like, thank God. And now you guys can hopefully settle back down for a little bit.
Yes,
Until who knows what's next.
Yeah.
Obviously with bobsledding, what you do is so physically taxing on your body, but also your mind and your mental toughness. How do you go, and like you just mentioned, you've been through so many different injuries, and as everyone could probably tell, you're the type of person that will never let anything get in your way and you'll get back up and do what you want to do. Yeah. And even if you've had to make those little shifts and, find your way to an Olympics, which is just amazing. How have you gone, I guess, with that mental strength building up over time, whether that be through injuries, long distance, the weight cut, like everything?
I'm going to say that the biggest thing I learned over the years, which would have been over, I think, the past year, is that sport isn't my identity. and that I can't let it control me and my emotions and my mental health and everything like that. I used to think the sport was the only thing that mattered to me. It was the only thing that I was going to do in life. But knowing that there is other things as well, and that it's okay if you fail and it's okay if it doesn't go well, and it's great if it goes well, but you can't control that. You can't control the uncontrollable. So I think going into the season, having that mindset really helped me, because I didn't know whether I was going to make the Olympics. I didn't know whether I was going to be the brakeman on season. Like, there was 2 people on season as brakemen, and one of them was a spare and one of them got to compete. So one person actually didn't get to compete all season.
Wow.
And I was scared that I was going to be that person. Like, fortunately I wasn't, but that's the thing. You can't control that, and you've got to go in like trying to do your best. And if it doesn't work out, like, I had that mental sort of shift in the past year or so, especially going through injuries and changing sports and stuff like that, yeah, like, sport isn't my identity, and there is something to go home to, and that's my partner, and that's my life at home and everything like that. So
which is so hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard. So many people get yes. And I still like get stuck in it. Yeah. But I've got to tell myself that it isn't my identity. So.
And I think it does, like, a lot of that comes with maturity as well. Like, you do, you know, growing up, it's like sport is everything, especially when you've done it for so long. But then you grow up and you're like, wait, there is so much more to life outside of it. But sometimes it either gets ripped away from you and the rug's just been pulled out and you've got no idea, or you just have to kind of gradually see that over time. But it doesn't take away from how freaking hard it is.
Oh my God, it does not take away from how hard it is. Not at all. Like, it is honestly the hardest thing to accept. And I don't think, like, I still sometimes don't accept that, but it is so, so hard. Like, people go through it, honestly. So, yeah.
Especially post-Olympics as well. How have you felt or dealt with that? Because it tends to be like an extreme high and then all of a sudden it's nothing. How have you gone with that?
Yeah, everyone says you get the post-Olympic blues.
Yeah, I was talking about it with Brie.
Yeah. It hasn't hit you yet?
No, I don't, honestly, like, haven't really got hit by the blues. Like, I have been very, like, positive about my season and everything. I've honestly been happy being home. Like, I feel like I was over there for so long that made it, like, coming home really nice. Yeah. It was like, okay, I did it. And I finally felt like I achieved that dream that I'd been longing since I was a little kid. So it was sort of like, wow, like, I just did that. And it's still sort of the realization of, like, did I just do that? Yeah, like, it can be a bit hard, like, getting into routine again and everything and going, okay, like, what am I doing? I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Because you would have been so, like, regimented as well.
Exactly. So, like, I feel like I'm so out of routine right now. But I kept myself busy when I got home, and being with friends and family and being with my partner really sort of took that thought away, I think. So, yeah.
It would help so much as well coming to the Gold Coast as all places. Like, you kind of feel like you're on another holiday here.
Oh, yeah.
It would definitely help.
Yeah.
With starting on the, like, very start line, it's not a sport that goes for 2 hours where it's like football and you can kick a ball, like, around or whatever for, like, so long. So if you, like, start losing, you can win again. Like, it's a whole thing. But with you kind of are like, you only have one chance. Well, like, how long is a race normally? Like, a minute?
About a minute.
A minute, yeah. What is going through your head at the start line, and how do you calm yourself down while then, of course, still using some adrenaline? Because you don't want to calm yourself down too much when you don't have that explosive power, but then equally, if it's too much, you use it in the wrong way. Do you have any techniques that you use?
Yeah, so, like, every single athlete is completely different, and you'll see them across the room, like, when you're starting and stuff. Some athletes are, you know, adrenaline, like, getting excited, getting angry and stuff, which is where I sit. And then there's other people who are really coming down. So me and my pilot were completely different, and we needed different things. So we were walking on the start line together, but she was calm and collective, and she needed people to calm her down, and she had a job to do because she had to drive. So she needed to focus on that. Whereas my biggest thing was to push that sled as hard and fast as I could. So with that, I needed to get angry and I needed to, get explosive and stuff. So I had a whole thing sort of set up where I would get as sort of excited and as angry as I could. I'd get onto the start line. I'd have coaches yelling at me and swearing at me and stuff to pump me up. Right. In my mind, though, like, I was very, like, you know, pump up on the outside. In my mind, I was very calm. I knew what I was doing, but I don't overthink things. And that's my biggest thing that I've learned through athletics and with my coach, is that I can't overthink something, because when I do, like, when I'm like, okay, I need to do this, like with long jump or something, like with my coach, I used to be like, okay, I need to run like this, I need to hit the platform, then I need to jump like this, where we learnt I just needed to be told, okay, run and jump. And then I would do a PB. So I was out there. I was like, okay, throw all the technique outside because there is so much technique to pushing a sled. Like you get one thing wrong and it's all out the window. And I had to throw all of that because you've done all of the training. You've got to trust that. You've got to trust that you've done all the training. Exactly. Yeah. And it's going to come together because you've taught your body how to do it and your body's going to automatically do it when it's out there. So you've got to trust that you're just going to perform and get the job done. So, yeah, it was just about pumping myself up and getting as fast as I could. And, yeah.
It is crazy how many different things, like, work for different people. And it's even just, like, simple for a lot of people listening, training in the gym. Like, some people, like, want a coach to yell at them and then other people need to be like, okay, no, like, you've got this. It's okay. Like, everyone just responds so differently and it's finding what works for you and the person that you necessarily look up to. Yes, use them as inspiration, but their technique might not work for you. And you just have to almost, like, trial and error until you figure it out. Because I feel like I'm very much like the calm person. Whereas, what do you reckon you are?
I love people yelling at me.
Yeah, good.
Just don't be a bitch, work harder.
Yes, that's me. See, I'm like, I do not respond to that.
Really?
Yeah, well, I'm just like, I know I'm going to give it everything I am. So, like, don't tell me that. Like, obviously I am. Like, I'd get annoyed. Yeah. Whereas I'm like, I think I would need them to yell, but assertively. So just be like, okay, we've got this, let's do it. Yeah. Rather than the aggressive tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is crazy how different people are. Like, even my the spare, so Haley, she's absolutely amazing, but she's completely different to me. So when she would be on the ice, it was like, do not touch her. Like if you touched her, she's in her zone. If you touched her, like it was like a nerve, like, you know, she was like in her zone, like don't touch her. But I was like, okay, slap me, like give me a big slap.
Don't touch me.
Yeah. So it is crazy, but you know, that works for you and this works for me.
And I think potentially how you grew up as well. Like I think about growing up through sport and with my parents, like my mum was always like, you've always got more to push. And my coaches were always the same. It's just like, growing up now it's very different. They don't coach. I mean, you can't really coach that way anymore because everyone's quite
precious.
They are this generation. But I feel like I grew up around that, like,
I think I did too. Yeah. And like now that I think about it, even like my coach, and he still coaches me now. He's coached me since I was 9, but he still does my sprints and stuff, which is really good.
I love that.
Yeah. And like when I do say like an 800, like you'd hear him, pick up your heels, like come on, just you're like, I'm on him, like okay. Actually, I'd be like, you're a coach, why are you yelling at her? Like,
actually, I feel like for an 800, I would need that. You know, I would need anything. To get me through that race. Yeah, I feel like because it is probably like so niche and small that everyone, I don't know, like wants to help everyone. And it's not like, obviously you're all fighting for positions. Yeah. But maybe not since like you're training an 8-year-old all the way up. Like it might be in Germany or something like that. But it would be just kind of like, I don't know, like I can see that family vibe there.
I think it's because like, I think a lot of people come from different sports to pursue their Olympic dream. And it's like everyone's had a different background and there's a lot of older people. There is a lot of younger people too, but a lot of older people doing it and everything. So like, they're like, oh, yeah, I came from athletics, or someone has made the Olympics for athletics or something, and then now they're trying to make the Winter Games as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool in that sense. Like everyone's come from different backgrounds in different sports and you're all in there together to try and achieve this one goal because I think everyone's there to try and make the Winter Olympics. So, yeah.
I did – oh, sorry. I was going to say, I did want to ask about finance.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So who pays for it and do you earn money? to put it simply.
Because I remember when I spoke to Brie and I was talking about, because I think some people think Olympics and you're like, oh, it's probably all funded. And like some people would always think like when I went to Worlds, like, oh, everything's funded. I'm like, I literally had to pay for my Australian tracksuit. Like there is not one thing, like I got $250 for a World Cup silver medal. Like literally nothing. And it's like you do it because you love it. And I think a lot of people go, oh, yeah, it's probably like all covered. But I assume no.
Sorry, guys, it's not covered. Well, sorry to me, but and my bank account. Yeah, no, it's completely self-funded. Like, and especially bobsleigh, completely self-funded, especially winter sports in Australia. Like, it's very hard to get funding for them. We have been self-funded, and we will be after this still. The whole season I had to pay out of my pocket, and that's 6 months overseas in Europe. You've got to pay for your flights, you've got to pay for your accommodation, you've got to pay for the training, you've got to pay for your uniform, like you said, which is crazy. People didn't realize that. I was like, oh yeah, I just had to pay I think our uniform was, I don't know, it was expensive, like 4 to 6, I could imagine. It was crazy. So you've got to pay for all of that. And then the pilot, their costs are like, say they've got to pay for the sleds, which are like $70,000 to $100,000 for one sled.
And then if you crash it,
yeah, and then you've got to fix it. And then there's all the equipment that, puts the sled together. And then there's the runners, which are thousands of dollars as well. And you've got to have different runners for different tracks. So, yeah, it's a very expensive sport.
How do people pay that don't work online or in socials?
Well, that's the thing. I think it's a very selective sport. And it's if you can get there, if you have say, I think a few people have money from their parents and people helping them out in their family and stuff like that. But I kind of I would be like, oh, how is everyone doing this? Because I'm obviously very lucky that I've been able to work on social media and use that and be able to fund my season overseas with social media and being able to work overseas as well. Whereas a lot of people can't work.
Yeah.
They can't work when they're home because they're only home for 6 months and then they go overseas for 6 months. So it's you've got to try and find a job that's going to take you overseas as well, and you've got to try and find that funding. So a big thing is trying to fund funding for the sport and sponsorships for the sport. So sponsors like to put themselves across the sled and on your helmets and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very much sponsor, self-funded sport, so it can be hard.
Is it different in other countries? I know for us, Americans can get quite easily funded for their training or their comps, or they get paid to go overseas.
Yeah, no, it's completely different. Yeah. So America and Germany and everything, they get paid to be there. And
Would be nice.
Yeah. I know whenever you have a conversation with them too, people still don't realize. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm paying for myself to be, they're like, you're paying for yourself to do this? We're getting paid. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And then even for I don't know if Olympics was different, but we say for the World Cup, we pay a fee or a levy.
Yeah.
For XYZ that's included. So you go over there and you're like, yeah, physio's included. Be like, well, I have paid for this. I don't know if the Olympics is the same or if it's
what do you mean? So
So when we went overseas, we still paid a levy to Gymnastics Australia, which goes towards them bringing a physio, bringing a doctor.
So you're still paying for it.
So you're still paying for it.
Yeah.
It's not here's a physio because you're overseas training so hard.
Oh, it would have been nice to have a physio.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything.
Really?
No, all season, I've been...
At the Olympics though?
At the Olympics we had a physio, so that was
then,
for 3 to 4 weeks.
So you didn't have a physio traveling with the team?
No, we didn't have anything while we're over there for 5-6 months.
And 3 weeks is great, but you've already done the hard work and made the team. I don't really need it anymore.
Yeah, that's right. We got there and it's this is great. I have free physio, I have a dietitian,
get a massage
I have
here and there, but
a performance manager. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I can get a massage finally. But I was
done the work.
I don't really need it anymore. I've done the work and I've been living without it now and trying to make do with what I can. And it's so difficult. I think we got told that because there's another pilot that's funded. And she's obviously medal contention, so she gets funded. Yeah. We don't. They put a lot of the funding into her, but they had a physio and stuff with them overseas, but it was way too expensive. I think it was $500 a week or something. So yeah, it was just too hard. And then we weren't on the same, we do different races and stuff. So it was just too hard to organize. So there's so many things that we didn't have access to while we're over there as well that, made it very difficult, even doctors and staff and everything. It's just way too hard because you're the pilot's basically managing your season herself and you're managing the season yourself. There's no federation that's really involved, and that's only because it's completely self-funded, so we can do it ourselves and they don't really have a say in what we do.
When you're traveling, is it just you and Sarah?
So yeah, me and Sarah and our spare as well. So there's a team. There's a few brakemen that usually come on. At the start of the season, we had 3 brakemen actually on with Sarah, and that's all that we're with. We're just traveling.
No coach.
No, so
this is so intrigued.
Yeah. So I didn't have a coach at the start of the season for pushing. So you need a coach for your pushing. You need a coach for your driving. So Sarah needs to have a coach for her driving. She has a coach, but the coach is from Belgium. So she's over there and she will come to a competition and stuff, I think on season. She doesn't live with us or anything, but she'll be at the track on certain tracks when she can or whatever. But they're not with you all the time. My push coach, I didn't see them at all until I think there was one, race or something, and then at the Olympics, but it was all video calls.
I was about to say, so you're sending videos?
Yeah. So we sort of did some coaching with him in this middle of the year, and then I was like, okay, I need a coach. I'm about to go to the Olympics. I haven't had a coach.
So you just train yourself?
Yeah.
Wait a second. I'm thinking you have a coach with you the whole entire time?
No, now that you're saying it, I'm kind of like, this is
You're like, hang on a second.
Hang on.
Who's teaching you?
So
Are you just like trying to run and push and I guess I'll jump in?
Yeah, nah. So in the middle of the year, so the last season we didn't have a coach. I remember my first season, there was no coach at all for me. And Sarah was basically coaching me how to push. And she's been a brakeman before and stuff.
Okay.
And then she became a pilot. But it's sort of not her job to do that, but it's the only thing we could do because we didn't really have a coach. So she was teaching me how to push, which it worked out in the first season. And people would sort of help you out when you're on races and training and everything like that.
Yeah, race.
Like where they can.
I think you should like try and do this. So
Yeah.
you implement it, see if it works.
And then Olympic year, we're like, oh, we should probably, get more involved with the coach. And she had a push coach. And we went overseas during the middle of the year for a summer camp. And he helped me how to push and taught me how to push and everything. And then I did a little development camp before I went overseas again with other coaches. But while I was on season, I think it was like halfway through or something. It wasn't even during the whole thing, but I was like, okay, I really need a coach. Like I need to reach that next level because I can't do this on my own. Because people were helping you out, but you didn't have an actual specific coach helping you out the whole time. So I had other coaches helping me where they could, but they weren't with me the whole time. They weren't my coach. So yeah, it's pretty crazy when you put it into perspective. But
This is where I just wish like Australian sports had just a bit more. It's like when you look at AFL, you're like, you just get drafted from school, you get handed this wage and you don't have to work. And even if you don't like it, you're still getting paid good money.
Yeah.
Everything is included.
Yeah.
So anything that you could ask for. And then you've got sports like ours, like you're busting your ass to not even have a coach for the Olympics.
I know. And we're working towards the Olympics. And even just like we had the potential of making the Olympics and there was still like not that much, help. It's
wild.
Yeah, it's so wild. And it's just a completely different shift when you get to the Olympics. Like everyone wants to help out. They're like, oh, you finally qualified. Like you got yourself there. Okay, now we've got the team for you and we can help you in every way possible.
You're like, thanks.
And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, literally. But yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like princess treatment now. Like I feel like weird. Like everyone's doing something for me and everyone's like, no, I'll do it. Like this and that because you're an Olympian now. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever have moments when you were over there thinking, is this actually worth it?
I don't think I had moments like that. In this season, I think because the goal was so close and the goal was like reachable that I was like, no, I can do this. And we kept ourselves busy all the time and everything. So I didn't really have a moment like that. I think, yeah, you obviously do think about, you're like, oh gosh, like, is it worth it? And this and that. But I think the whole time I was like, yeah, I'm going to make the Olympics. Like, this is so worth it. It was very scary going into the season, knowing that I could not make it and that I might not be the brakeman, and there was a chance because I was going head to head with 3 other people going into season. I had to outperform them like every week. Like we were doing push-offs all the time through the whole season. So we were basically peaking like every week. Like,
Does Sarah make that call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, she gets to make that call at the end of the day. So it's not the federation, it's not the Australian team or anything. It's
Does she sit you all
her call.
down? And like, how does that even go about? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, poor Sarah. Like,
Yeah. It's a big decision. We had to do some push-offs in the middle of the year. And she sort of saw where we were at. And then we did push-offs before we went on, when we first went on season as well. And then I think a month or 2 months into the season, one person got kicked off the team. And it was just who didn't push the fastest. So every week we were constantly like, okay, we need to be on because like she could go, okay, you didn't push that well today. Like, I'll mark that down, or you didn't do this well. And it's not just about the pushing either. It's about the team dynamics, and it's about if you can do the sled work and if you can do it well, because that's a massive role as well in the sport. But yeah, I was lucky enough that I was pushing the fastest and I was outperforming, and you can completely tell it was between the 2 other girls to be the spare. So I was very fortunate in that, but still I felt like I needed to push off all season because I was scared that someone was going to take my position before the Olympics, and it was like, it was petrifying. Like I was so scared.
surely though, if you qualified with her, she wouldn't substitute you out for the Olympics.
You'd
Can you
hope
do that?
not.
Yeah, okay.
But
Glad you
you're
can
very
do
replaceable as a brakeman.
that. Yeah, that
Anything
is-
could happen.
That's like when you go like to like the relay in the Olympics, like you've always got a spare, and the team will just be like, oh, we're taking you, not her.
Yeah.
But and then you're at the Olympics, you don't race.
Yeah.
That
and that's
baffles me.
happened to someone that I know. So
Yeah. I would feel like, not even for myself, but I'm like, most likely your family's flown over there. You know what I mean?
That's right.
what
so
I
hard.
would feel.
And like it is sport at the end of the day.
That's right. But I think like having a good team around you and like the spare, like Haley, like she was absolutely amazing over there. She was like a sister away from home, and I couldn't have asked for a better like spare or brakeman beside me. Like she wanted to be there helping me. She wanted to be the spare. Like she wanted me to make the Olympics, and she was just ready to like, you know, experience that with me. Her whole, like her family came over to watch us compete. Yeah, it was beautiful. Like she was so good, and I don't think you'll ever find someone like her. And yeah, she was absolutely amazing, which made it so much better because it can be very tough in that aspect too when you make it as the brakeman and then there's the spare that's supposed to be helping you. But then because obviously they miss that opportunity, it can be very hard for them. So yeah, it can be quite difficult.
Yeah. So obviously you did all the work, you made the team,
Yeah.
you hit the Olympics. What was the Olympic experience like and your race?
Yeah.
Races? Multiple?
We did 3 runs in total at the Olympics. So there's 4. The experience was honestly like amazing. Like it was like a dream. I think even just qualifying for the Olympics was such a good experience.
I reckon that would nearly be the best part.
Oh, it was honestly the best part, I think. Like we were doing a race at Altenburg, which is one of the hardest tracks to do.
Did you find out like right after that race?
We sort of knew we'd qualified already. Okay. We just had to get down the track.
Right.
So I was in the back and obviously Sarah was driving halfway down the track. Like this track's very scary. Like you're like, okay, finish the track, like finish the run. Like I need to get out of the sled. And I'm halfway down like the track and I've just started bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've made the Olympics. Like we're going to make the Olympics after this run. So like I'm just like crying and we've come up and she's turned around and I'm like bawling my eyes out. And then she starts bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, oh my God, we did it. And yeah, there's like a video on my Instagram where I'm just like crying. Like
it makes me cry just like thinking about it. Like, you know the work that goes into it.
So it was like so amazing to experience. And then and we like celebrating after that and stuff. And it was hard because like my family weren't there and like Sarah's family were there, but my family weren't. So I was calling them and I was like screaming and like crying, and it was really nice. But yeah, so like that experience and then finally getting the official letter, because you haven't really made it. You can qualify, but they might not take you. So we qualified and we knew we were going to go, but then we got the official letter. I think it was like a few days after, and that was like another crying session. And then it was sort of like, you know, gearing in to go to the Olympics, and everyone was in to help you. So basically like we had to restart again, try and taper in to do well on the last week of the Olympics, because that's when we were competing, and everyone was in to help us. So we traveled to the AIS in Italy and got to stay there, and that's where we met all of our performance managers and all the people who organised everything with the Olympics. We got our uniform, which was just like so cool, like, and then we had like our name on a plaque and stuff, and I was like, this is real. Like,
how far before the Olympics was this?
So this was 4 weeks before.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was basically the last race, and then it was like a month to the Olympics. So it was sort of, it kind of happens quite fast.
Yeah. That's so fast.
Yeah, and you don't know you've made the Olympics until then, which is so crazy. Like you go all season, like some like other sports you could qualify and it's okay, I'm going to the Olympics next year. Yeah. But it's like this, like we didn't know whether we were making the Olympics till I think it was like, I don't know whether it was January, at the start of January or something. Yeah, January 14th or the 12th or something. And with like your family members coming over and stuff too, like
such short
maybe
notice.
come over, maybe don't, maybe book flights. So like it was sort of like book flights just in case. But yeah, like they were like, oh, have you made it yet? And I'm like, Mum, I won't know until
I'll tell you when I know.
Don't worry. Yeah, like,
you're the first call.
Yeah. So it was hard with that as well, because like you just had no idea until then. But basically, we did the AIS, trained there and did lots of interviews, and that was crazy because it was like, oh, well, like everyone wants to talk to you. The news want to talk to you. Like you just have all this media and all this attention. And then, we got to the Olympics, and we didn't actually stay in the Olympic Village the whole time. We stayed in a hotel for the first 2 weeks, and then we went over to the Olympic Village for the last week. Which was such a cool experience, being able to see all of that and being involved with all the other athletes. It was a different kind of Olympics though. it was so spread out. Usually the Olympics,
Yeah, I did
everyone's
see
together, but there was like 4 different venues. So you were nowhere near the snowboarders. You were nowhere near.
Was it different mountains as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was annoying because like I wanted to like see all those cool athletes that you've been watching like for ages, like, you know, all the snowboarders and everything. But we were sort of in our little crew, which was like the bobsleigh crew. And there wasn't, I think there was like cross country skiers or something, alpine skiers. But that's about it. There wasn't really many people where we were, which made it feel like it was still like a World Cup or like it was still just a normal race. It didn't, don't think it made me like us too scared about like racing
They probably
and stuff.
helped a little bit.
I think it did help, definitely. Yeah. And we still had the like Olympics experience and everything. It was crazy being over there though. Like when we were staying in the hotel, it was like right in the city center. And the amount of attention that you would walk through the street and someone would pull like, Desi, like I need a photo, like Desi. And like you were signing autographs all the time. It was like honestly insane. Like I had to like go in cognito mode. Like
you forget that people like literally fly there to watch the Olympics, and they're like they're watching everyone. They know what time people are competing at. They're going, okay, we're going to this mountain for this sport, then we'll go to that mountain for that sport. Like they've made a huge plan of it, like,
literally.
and you forget that that's actually a thing that people do, and you're just there to race.
Literally everyone's there to watch the Olympics, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm an athlete at the Olympics. So then people know who you are, and
It would have just been like someone pinched me the whole time.
Yeah, literally. So it was such a great experience, like having all of that and stuff, and it was just so much love and support, and would never take it back. It was great. Yeah.
So what's on now for Desi? What's she up to?
Yeah, well, that is a question that I will
You're still answering?
I'm still answering, yeah. I think I've been home for 4 weeks, so I've been trying to give myself that rest and for my mind and my body and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. I know I want to get back into like some sprinting and everything and trying to get fast again, so that might be on the cards, but we will see.
Yeah. Just give yourself that
Summer
space.
Olympics.
Maybe, no.
Give yourself that space to see.
Yeah, I think I've never had like a break from sport without being injured. So I'm sort of like, I need to have that like sort of space and that break from actually thinking about sport and thinking about what I'm going to do next.
Are all the injuries good?
Yeah, I'm great at the moment, which is just like crazy. Yeah.
And that's stunning, like coming back from the Olympics, like no rehabbing, nothing, like mind is free and just focus on enjoying life right
That's
now.
right. Yeah. So I'm just so excited to enjoy life and see what I can do like with myself at home as well and everything. And like I've just like ordered a dog. I don't know if I can say ordered, but like bought. I'm on the list.
He's on the list
for a
thing
little.
ever.
So like that's something I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I'm excited for that as well. Yeah.
Well,
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. I was like so in the zone this whole entire time.
Same,
Listening to
yeah.
everything you said. So I'm sure so many other people are going to take a lot of value from this episode. Where can people find you on socials?
So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. It's Desi Johnson with 2 N's at the end. Yeah.
So follow the journey, see what's next.
Follow the journey. Yeah, definitely.
And the dog.
You'll
Can't
see
wait
what's
to see
next
the
soon,
dog.
hopefully.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in your ears next week.
Bye.